Some friendship feel like they've destined, forged in childhood, strengthened over decades until the lines between friends and family start to blur. They celebrate your wins like they're your own and feel your losses just as deeply. You trust them with your secrets, with your children, and with your life. But what happens when that trust is a lie? What if the person you think is your closest confidant isn't celebrating you, but studying you? Not sharing your joy, but coveting it. And what happens when their desire for the life you've built becomes so powerful, so all consuming, that they decide the only way to get it is to get rid of you? They were best friends, supposedly sharing the journey of pregnancy together. One was joyfully awaiting her baby girl, posting happy updates online and getting a nursery ready. The other was faking it all. The other was faking it all. It was a cold, calculated plan to commit murder and steal a life she desperately wanted for herself. This is a story of how a deep friendship turned into a deadly obsession, leaving a body in a trunk and a stolen baby in its wake. It's a story of the ultimate betrayal, one that asks a terrifying question. How well do you ever really know the person you call your best friend?
Blood on the grass won't wash away undetected footprints.
To understand how things allegedly spiral so violently out of control, you have to go back to the beginning. Back in 2019, Heidi Broussard was living a life that seemed full of promises. At 33 years old, the Austin, Texas resident was a devoted mom to her young son, Silas, and was deeply in love with her fiance, Shane Carey. By all accounts, Heidi was a vibrant, kind, and loving soul. Her mother, Tammy Broussard, would later describe her with an aching fondness. With an aching fondness. Heidi's hugs were strong and full of love. They lingered in the atmosphere, she said. She loved beyond measure, and she never gave up on anyone. In the spring of that year, Heidi's world got even brighter. She was pregnant again, expecting a baby girl she and Shane planned to name Margot. Her social media was a gallery of her happiness, sonogram pictures, belly updates, and pure excitement about becoming a mom for the second time. She was building a future and wanted to share that joy with everyone and sharing that journey with her. It seemed was one of her oldest friends, Megan Firamuska. Their friendship stretched back more than a decade, with some reports saying they first met as teens at a church camp. They had kept their bond strong into adulthood, a testament to what looked like a deep connection. So when Megan announced that she too was pregnant and that their due dates were only weeks apart, it felt like a happy coincidence, a blessing even. Two best friends embarking on the adventure of motherhood at the same time. They could share advice, compare symptoms, and look forward to their kids growing up together. Megan, who lived in Houston, seemed all in on the shared experience. She and Heidi were in constant contact, swapping belly pics and talking about their future plans. To the outside world, and especially to Heidi, it was a beautiful picture of female friendship. Megan was more than just a friend, she was a rock. As Heidi's due date got closer, Megan made plans to drive from Houston to Austin to support her friend through labor in those first few chaotic days with a newborn. On November 26, 2019, when Heidi gave birth to a healthy baby girl, Margot Carey, Megan was right there in the hospital room. Her presence was so constant it sometimes felt intrusive. According to her arrest affidavit, Shane Carey's father later told investigators he found it odd when Megan interrupted his very first time holding his granddaughter, asking to hold the baby herself at the time. It was likely brushed off as just an overeager friend. No one could have known that Megan's excitement wasn't for Heidi, but for the baby she already considered her own. Because Megan Firamuska wasn't pregnant, she had never been pregnant, her baby bump wasn't real. She used padding and loose clothing to create the illusion. The sonograms were fake. The entire 9-month performance was a meticulous, sinister con designed for one purpose: to steal Heidi Broussard's baby. The shared pregnancy journey wasn't a coincidence, it was a hunting ground. And as Heidi cradled her newborn, she had no idea that her best friend wasn't there to support her but to replace her. Her motive, a chilling obsession often described as maternal desire, was about to reach its devastating final act. The first couple of weeks of December 2019 were a blur of newborn bliss for Heidi Broussard and Shane Carey. Their Austin apartment was filled with the sounds of a new baby, late night feedings, diaper changes, and the quiet sighs of their daughter Margot. At just 2 weeks old, she was the center of their universe. On the morning of Thursday, December 12th, the day started like any other. Around 7:30 a.m., Heidi got herself and baby Margot ready and drove to Cowan Elementary School to drop off her 6-year-old son, Silas. School cameras captured her there, a normal mom on a normal day, with no clue of the darkness that was about to find her. She was last seen around 7:50 a.m. Later that day, Shane Carey came home from work expecting to walk into the happy chaos of his family. Instead, he was met with a strange, unsettling silence. Heidi was gone. Baby Margot was gone. He checked Heidi's car. It was parked at their apartment. Her wallet and ID were inside. Nothing seemed out of place except for the two most important people in his life. He called her phone again and again, no answer. A knot of dread tightened in his stomach as he started calling friends and family, asking the same terrifying question: have you heard from Heidi? By evening, panic had taken over. Shane reported Heidi and 2-week-old Margot missing to the Austin Police Department. The first hours of any missing persons case, especially one with a newborn, are critical. News spread like wildfire on social media. Friends and family plastered photos of Heidi and Margot everywhere, pleading for their safe return. The story captured the public's attention. It was every parent's worst nightmare. In the days that followed, Shane made a series of heartbreaking public pleas for their return. His face, etched with fear, appeared on news broadcasts. "I just want her to come home," he said, his voice cracking. "She's amazing. She's missed." And right there in the middle of the frantic search was Megan Firamuska. She played the part of the devastating best friend perfectly. She called and texted mutual friends talking about how shocked and scared she was. A family spokesperson, Tim Miller of Texas EquiSearch, later recalled a 45-minute phone call with Megan. He remembered how convincing she was, how genuine her concerns seemed. "She had me convinced," he later said. "That was the last person in the world I expected that could possibly have anything to do with it. So, yeah, she fooled us all." Megan's deception was chillingly thorough. While Heidi's family was living a nightmare, Megan was weaving herself into their grief, all while hiding a monstrous secret. She knew exactly where Heidi was. She knew that Margot was safe because the baby was with her. Her performance was a crucial part of her plan, deflecting suspicion while she monitored the investigation from the inside. While everyone was looking for a faceless monster, the real predator was hiding in plain sight, disguised as a friend. While the search for Heidi and Margot grew more desperate, the Austin Police Department, the FBI, and the Texas Rangers started piecing together Heidi's last known movements. In a case with no forced entry, no obvious motive, investigators zeroed in on the details. The first big crack in Megan Firamuska's story came from technology. Surveillance footage from Heidi's apartment complex in the morning she disappeared showed a car that matched the description of Megan's Nissan Versa. A witness also reportedly saw a woman getting into that very car with a baby. Suddenly, Megan wasn't just a concerned friend in Houston. She was a person of interest who was at the scene of the crime. Next, cell phone data backed it all up, placing Megan's phone in Austin on December 12th. But the most damning evidence came from her internet search history. According to the arrest affidavit, in the days surrounding Heidi's disappearance, Megan had conducted a series of disturbing Google searches. Using an account with the name Megan Humphrey, she searched for reasons for Amber Alert issued in Austin, and most tellingly, bodies found in Austin, Texas. The affidavit also reveals she had searched for Heidi Broussard's name over 160 times between November 11th and December 18th. This wasn't a worried friend. This was a criminal trying to cover her tracks. With the evidence piling up, investigators turned their attention to a house in the Houston area owned by a man named Christopher Green, Megan's ex-boyfriend, with whom she was still living. When law enforcement tracked him down, the fantasy world Megan had built came crashing down. Green told investigators that Megan had told him she was pregnant with his child back in the spring of 2019. He said he believed her. Her stomach seemed to grow, and he had even felt it, described it as hard. But he admitted he'd never actually seen her bare stomach during the so-called pregnancy. He told them Megan returned from a trip on December 13th with a baby. She told him don't be mad, and explained she'd gone into labor and delivered the baby at a birthing center. For nearly a week, Green believed the child was his. On December 19th of 2019, FBI agents approached Green while he was out shopping. They showed him a missing person flyer with photos of Heidi and baby Margot. He looked at the picture of the infant, and according to the arrest affidavit, said, "That's my baby." Armed with that confirmation, law enforcement descended on the house. Believing baby Margot could be a life-threatening danger, they entered the home under exigent circumstances without waiting for a signed warrant. Inside, they found what they were hoping for, a healthy baby girl. It was Margot Carey, alive and unharmed. But the search wasn't over. The distant odor of decomposition led them to the backyard, to Megan's car. An officer opened the trunk. Stuffed inside a large duffel bag was the body of Heidi Broussard. The vibrant, loving mother had been strangled. The weapon believed to have been used, a dog leash. The lie had completely unraveled. The frantic week-long search was over. Heidi hadn't just been kidnapped. She had been murdered by the woman she called her best friend. The concerned friend who fooled everyone was in reality a cold-blooded killer. As Megan Fieramusca was taken into custody, the shocking truth was finally laid bare. The arrest of Megan Fieramusca sent a shockwave through the community. The outcome was already tragic. But the revelation that the killer was Heidi's lifelong friend was a twist so cruel it was almost incomprehensible. Megan was initially charged with kidnapping and tampering with a corpse. As the full, premeditated scope of her plan became clear, those charges were upgraded to capital murder. The prosecution's case was straightforward and horrifying. Megan Fieramusca faked a pregnancy for the sole purpose of murdering Heidi Broussard and stealing her newborn daughter. The evidence was overwhelming. Surveillance footage, cell data, her own internet searches, and the discovery of both the living baby and the deceased mother at her residence painted an undeniable picture of guilt. For over 3 years, the case moved through the legal system. Fieramusca's defense attorneys tried to have evidence suppressed, arguing the search of the home was unlawful, but those efforts failed. Facing an almost certain conviction for capital murder, which could mean a death sentence in Texas, Megan chose another path. In February of 2023, she accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to a reduced charge of first-degree murder. As part of the agreement, she waived her right to appeal, a crucial move that spared Heidi's family the trauma of a long trial. During sentencing, Judge Selena Alvarenga addressed Fieramusca directly. By your actions, you have deprived an innocent child, an innocent baby, the opportunity of growing up with her mother. The judge said, you have destroyed an entire family. And no matter what the sentence, nothing can change that. Megan Fieramusca was sentenced to 55 years in prison. She is incarcerated at a woman's prison in Marlin, Texas, and will first be eligible for parole in June of 2047 when she will be 61 years old. For Heidi's family, the sentence brought a measure of legal closure, but nothing could fill the void she left. Her mother, Tammy Broussard, spoke in court, her words a testament to both her grief and her daughter's spirit. She was so much fun and so full of life, and now has been taken from her. Reflecting on the betrayal, Timmy was also revealed she had long been weary of Megan's jealousy towards Heidi. Heidi's fiancé, Shane Carey, was left to raise their children alone. Margot, the stolen baby, was safely reunited with her father just days after being rescued. Now she and her older brother Silas must grow up without their mother, their lives forever marked by a tragedy they were too young to understand. The family has chosen to raise the children out of the public eye, giving them the chance of a normal life that was so cruelly threatened. The story of Heidi Broussard is a harrowing reminder of the darkness that can hide behind a familiar smile. It forces us to confront difficult questions about trust, obsession, and betrayal. If this story impacted you, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the cases that make us question what we know about human nature. Let me know in the comments, respectfully, what part of this story did y'all find the most shocking? The fake pregnancy, the betrayal itself? Let's continue the conversation. Megan Firamusca's elaborate and wicked plan failed. She didn't get to keep the baby she stole, and she won't get to live the life she coveted. Instead, she will spend decades in a prison cell, a direct consequence of her obsession. But that justice feels hollow in the face of such a profound loss. A 55-year prison sentence can't bring Heidi Broussard back. It can't erase the trauma inflicted on her children or mend her family's broken hearts. All that remains is a memory of a vibrant young mother, the survival of her beautiful daughter, and a terrifying, cautionary tale about a friendship that curdled into a deadly poison. It's a story about a body in a trunk, a stolen baby, but more than anything, it's about the devastating betrayal of a friend who was really a monster all along.
Blood on the grass won't wash away. Undetected